Well, several people are missing in the Northern Cape this after torrential rains had hit the area. The Gift of the Givers has been assisting those affected. The rains damaged roads, bridges and some houses, and residents are now trying to piece together their lives. eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah is following that story for us, and he joins us live now to give us this update. Dasen, a very warm good morning to you, colleague. I mean, what work lies ahead at this stage for Gift of the Givers, and what assistance would they need as well to conduct this rescue mission?
Well, there's a lot of work to be done here. In fact, the Gift of the Givers teams that have been working in the Namakwa district arrived yesterday to start the process of providing humanitarian relief to some of those communities. Remember, many of them have been cut off as a result of the flooding, and there were urgent needs that they required, and that's why you see, for example, this truck from the organization. It's become a mobile warehouse, and they've been using this as a central point here in Springbok. This is where they are based, but are moving out to those areas that need assistance. In fact, just yesterday they were in Fontaine and Lekkersing, and they managed to reach a number of people there. But there are lots of different things going on at the same time. While we talk about the humanitarian relief, we've also spoken to the SAPS. There's still a person that is missing. There are active search and rescue efforts at the moment to try and locate that person. Several bodies have been found after they drowned during that flooding last week. So there is it's still in the very early stages of the recovery after that flood. I want to bring in Emily Thomas now, who's with the Gift of the Givers. Emily, I know that you and the team had a few challenges. Accessibility still remains an issue here, but what would you say you were able to achieve yesterday when you hit the ground?
Okay, I must say it was quite a challenge going into those areas, simply because the actual road was actually a river. It became a river when this water came down, and but we managed, even by towing our truck with a 4x4, we managed to take much needed food items to the areas of Fontaine and Lekkersing. We distribute about 300 food hampers to these areas, inclusive of hygiene packs and blankets. That was much needed.
How are those communities surviving at the moment? I mean, we're talking about them being cut off. What about medical care, for example? How are they getting these basic services beyond just, food and things like that?
I know medical service is a challenge at the moment, simply because also ambulances can't reach that areas, and also I know they've been using the police helicopters to try and get some much needed medication to these areas. But if somebody should fall ill or anything should happen to them, there is no helicopter on standby to assist these people, and also they're not able to access the hospital or the clinics for that matter. It's still a challenge though.
And it's been a very long time now. We're talking about a number of days since the flooding. Just talking about the supplies that you are providing, what have been the most needed supplies that these families have been looking for? We're talking about roughly 6,000 families, right?
We're talking about 6,000 families, yes. And I must say to you that, working in the Northern Cape for a long time now, I realized that hunger, poverty is a real issue in this community. So with the floods, it just made it worse, because it cut people off completely from getting their food supplies, and it was a great struggle. I know some of them tried to walk through the fields or to try and get food, but at least they managed, and through Gift of the Givers we were able to now give them that much needed food supplies that they need, at least to see them through for the next couple of days, because we know that infrastructure is still a big problem. The roads are still washed away, and for some of them they are still trapped in certain areas.
And just lastly, Emily, what kind of other help is needed in this area beyond what you're doing as the Gift of the Givers?
I would say at the moment the thing that is much needed is the food, and also like maybe like I said, if there's a helicopter made available to help people with giving that medical assistance to people, it will ease that burden, and yeah, that is what I think is needed at the moment.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for your time. Emily Thomas there from the Gift of the Givers. Accessibility still remains a problem. We will also be going out to those areas in a short while.